Season 3 of Breaking Bad deepens the moral and emotional complexities of the series, elevating the stakes for all major characters. Picking up from the shocking events of Season 2, specifically Jane Margolis's death in the catastrophic mid-air plane collision, this season explores the devastating aftermath of Walter White's actions. With grief, guilt, and ambition fueling every decision, the characters find themselves increasingly entangled in violence, secrecy, and irreversible choices. The tension between Walt's dual identities, family man and criminal mastermind, becomes unsustainable as he is pulled into the dark world of cartel business. Season 3 is the point at which Breaking Bad transforms from an acclaimed drama into a cultural phenomenon. The season begins with the community and Walt's family reeling from the plane crash that occurred above their neighborhood. Walt tries to quit the drug trade, feeling overwhelmed by guilt and fear. He confesses to Skyler that he is a meth manufacturer, hoping for some twisted form of honesty to save their marriage. Instead, Skyler is horrified and demands a divorce. Meanwhile, Jesse Pinkman, devastated by Jane's death, checks himself into rehab. He struggles with overwhelming guilt and self-loathing, believing he is a bad person who deserves pain. His character takes a more introspective turn, moving from erratic addict to deeply conflicted partner. Skyler's arc becomes more assertive this season. Initially seeking divorce, she begins to suspect the full extent of Walt's criminality. When she learns the details of his drug operation and sees the money it generates, her moral stance becomes complicated. Eventually, she agrees to help Walt launder his drug money by purchasing the car wash where he once worked. Skyler also begins a short-lived romantic relationship with Ted Beneke, her boss, attempting to reclaim control over her life. This subplot reinforces the theme of broken family ties and blurred morality. Season 3 introduces the formidable Gus Fring, a respected businessman and fast food chain owner who secretly runs a vast drug empire. Gus sees potential in Walt and offers him $3 million for 3 months of cooking in a high-tech underground super lab. Initially hesitant, Walt accepts the deal, both to provide for his family and to satisfy his ego. In the lab, Walt is partnered with Gail Bodeker, a mild-mannered chemist who admires Walt's genius. Their professional relationship is respectful and smooth, but it ultimately becomes a liability when Jesse re-enters the picture. The threat of violence escalates with the arrival of Lionel and Marco Salamanca, twin cartel assassins known as the Cousins. They travel from Mexico to avenge the death of Tuco Salamanca, their cousin, their target, Walter White. However, Gus manipulates events to redirect their vengeance toward Hank Schrader, Walt's DEA brother-in-law. The Cousins' looming presence builds relentless tension. In a climactic showdown, they ambush Hank in a parking lot. Despite being severely injured, Hank kills one cousin and mortally wounds the other. The ambush results in Hank being hospitalized, changing his character trajectory as he struggles with physical and psychological trauma. Jesse completes rehab but remains emotionally scarred. When Walt rehires him, Jesse resumes cooking meth and takes a more active role in the business. He also begins a relationship with Andrea, a woman he meets in his support group, and bonds with her young son, Brock. Jesse discovers that one of Gus's dealers is using Andrea's younger brother, Thomas, to sell drugs, and that Thomas was involved in the murder of his friend Combo from Season 2. Enraged, Jesse plans to kill the dealers. This sets off a dangerous conflict between Gus, Walt, and Jesse. In a desperate move to protect Jesse and maintain Gus's trust, Walt murders the two dealers himself by running them over with his car and shooting one point blank. This brutal act is a clear sign that Walt is now fully committed to the criminal world. It also reinforces Jesse's loyalty to Walt, even as he continues to question the ethics of their actions. In the final episode, Gus replaces Jesse with Gail, signaling that he plans to kill Walt once Gail can replicate Walt's process. Realizing he's expendable, Walt enlists Jesse to kill Gail, thus making Walt essential to Gus's operation. In a heart-pounding final scene, Jesse breaks into Gail's apartment and kills him in cold blood, a turning point that shatters his soul. The season ends on Jesse's face, racked with guilt and fear, while Walt awaits the outcome. This moment forever bonds them in blood and marks a major turning point in both of their arcs. The season's final act, culminating in the murder of Gail, marks the point of no return. Walt and Jesse are now fully immersed in a world where violence and betrayal are the norm. The consequences are coming, and redemption is growing ever more distant.